The Ringing Cedars, Series 37, Anastasia, Book 1, Vladimir Meager. Through the Period of Dark Forces, Part 2. I was always able to heal with the help of my ray. My great-grandfather taught me in my childhood and explained everything. I have done this many times with my people from country summer houses. Now my ray is much stronger than that of my grandfather and great-grandfather. That's why, they say, a feeling called love appeared in me. He is so big, cozy and a little hot. You want to give it to all people and to yourself. You want everyone to be well and everything to be well, as God wanted it to be. Anastasia spoke her monologue unusually inspired and convinced. It was as if she made a shot in space and time with him. So she shut up. I looked at Anastasia, surprised by her unusual passion and conviction, so I asked. Anastasia, is that all? There are no more nuances in your plans, imagination. The rest, Vladimir, are little things. They are not important. I solved them along the way as 2 times 2. There was just something complex that concerned you, but I solved that too. Now, tell me in more detail. What is complex about me? You see, I made you the richest man on earth and I also made you the most famous. It will happen in a while. But when the imagination was working. So far she has not yet disappeared without a trace, she attracts the forces of light. The forces of darkness. They always try to bring their own, harmful. As its various side effects, which have a murderous effect on the one it touches, as well as on various people. My thoughts were moving really fast, but the dark forces were succeeding anyway. They abandoned many of their earthly activities and tried to set their mechanisms in motion to work around my imagination, so then I came up with an idea. I tricked them. And I made all their mechanisms go into motion for the purpose of good. Not even a moment passed, and the dark forces were lost, but that was enough for the imagination, attracted by the forces of light, to be carried away to the unattainable infinity of light. So what did you come up with, Anastasia? For them, I unexpectedly extended the time period of the dark forces, in which you will have to overcome various difficulties. Whereby I deprived myself of the possibility to help you with my heir. They were distracted, not seeing the logic in it on my part. And in the meantime, I quickly illuminated the people with whom you will hang out in the future. What does it all mean? You, my imagination, people will help. With their tiny rays, which are almost without guidance. But there will be many of them, and together you will embody imagination in material reality. You will be transported through the period of dark forces. You will also transfer others, to another timeline. And you will not be arrogant and greedy when you become rich and famous. Therefore, as you will understand, the most important thing is not in money, for him you will never get the warmth, the sincere cooperation of the human soul. You will understand this when you go through that period of time of dark forces, when you meet and get to know these people. And they will understand too, and the squats. I imagined your mutual relations with the banks just in case, because you don't take care of your body at all. And that way you'll at least practice a little when you get money in the bank, and some bankers too. And make it a little funny. That's why there will be no sinful pride in you. Well, it turns out that you and those around you will be hardened by the difficulties and obstacles that the dark forces have devised for their own period of time. It will make you more aware. And in the end, they will save you from the dark temptations, which they are so proud of. Their action will save you. Therefore, they were lost in less than a moment. And now they will never capture my imagination again. Anastasia. You my dear dreamer. Dreamers. Oh. How well you did. Thanks. Thank you. You said so beautifully, my dear. Please. So I also called you a dreamer. She who dreams. You weren't offended. I wasn't offended at all. You still don't know how accurately my fantasies always come true, when they turn out to be convincing and detailed. This one will surely come true. They are dear to me and the most brilliant. And the book will turn out like that. Unusual feelings will appear in people, and these feelings will call people. Wait, Anastasia, you're getting carried away again. Calm down. I didn't quite understand the meaning woven into her monologue, it seemed too fantastic. It wasn't until a year later that the editor of the magazine, after reading the manuscript, which contained this monologue, excitedly handed me the latest issue of his magazine, for May 1996. I was also excited when I got acquainted with its content. At the same time, two great scientists mentioned in their works the existence of a higher reason. The close interconnection of man with the cosmos, the rays, invisible to the naked eye, that man radiates. They managed to mark them with the help of special devices, and two photographs of these rays emitted by humans are inserted in the magazine. But science only spoke about what Anastasia not only knew from childhood, but what she quite simply used in her daily life, in her desire to help people. How could I have known a year ago that she, who was standing in front of me in an old-fashioned and one-of-a-kind skirt, dressed in unsightly shoes, really possessed enormous knowledge, abilities with which she could influence people's destinies? That the urges of her soul can really oppose what is dark and harmful to humanity. That the folk healer, known in Russia, V. Mironov, will gather his assistants and say, "We are all small insects before her." And he will add that the world has not yet known greater forces than those in it. He will be sorry that I didn't understand her for so long. Many will feel the very strong energy that the book is emitting. Verses will be spilled into the spring rain, which cleanses the impurities, when the first small edition of the book is published, of which, I think, she also appears as the author. Now, dear reader, this book is in your hands. You read it. Whether it evokes feelings in your soul, only you can judge. What do you feel? What is she calling for? Anastasia, left there alone, in the taiga, in her clearing, will unyieldingly dispel, with her air of benevolence, the obstacles that stood in front of her imagination. She will gather and inspire more and more new people so that her imagination can come true. That way, in moments when I'm having a hard time, there will be 3 Moscow students next to me, not getting the rewards he deserved for his work, typing the text, Anastasia, on their computers at night. They won't stop typing even when the tough exam deadlines start in them. And the booklet will be published in an edition of 2,000 copies by the 11th Moscow printing house. They will release it bypassing the publisher. Even before that, the journalist from Moscow will be the first to speak about Anastasia in the press, in which well-known names from academic circles write. She will dedicate several issues to Anastasia. In their wildest imaginations, academics do not reach the insights of Anastasia, the seer from the Siberian taiga. Purity of intention makes a man omnipotent and omniscient. Man is the pinnacle of creativity.